recording. And also I'm going to turn on my video so that you can see me for a moment. Hopefully that you see me there. Hi, I'm going to just make sure that you see that I'm not an Autobot. and and you know, just I'm going to turn this thing off so that it saves some bandwidth. So let me get into that area again, and see you later. But you will continue to hear me. Okay, so today we're going to talk about thought leadership and creating a personal brand. My name is Greg Price, and I am an instructor here at, I'm program director here at City University. I'm the program director for the Master of Arts in Leadership, and in the Master of Arts in Leadership, we have this particular class, which is a thought leadership class. I'm also the course manager for the HR courses that we have here. Associate professor. I do instruct classes in sustainability, which I didn't put on there, but I put it in as business, as well as leadership. In private sector, this is obviously where most of this thought leadership came from, but I have been a director at a training organization in Tokyo, Japan, and that was for about 5 years. Presently, concurrently actually with what I'm doing here at City University, I am a publisher for an outdoor recreational magazine. In terms of my credentials, BA in economics, MBA from the University of Phoenix, and I am a doctoral candidate, getting close to the end, so yippee for that, right? Okay, so let's turn our attention to thought leadership. And because I write thought leadership so many times, sometimes you'll see it as TL. So if you see TL, you know it's thought leadership. Really, what is thought leadership? And the best, smallest description that we can come up with is to be a trusted expert. Really, to be what it is that you are, and who you are in terms of what it is that your expertise is all about. And what this webinar is going to talk about is it's going to introduce you to some of the ideas of thought leadership on how you can actually build a personal brand. Now there's a number of ways that you can build your brand in terms of your personal brand. I'm going to mention a few and kind of get you started on that whole idea. In terms of bringing thought leadership into your organization, this too is vitally important. And more and more we hear of the entrepreneurial mindset, coming into the organization's strategic view, so that they can create visibility towards some end goal. So what does it mean to be a thought leader? Well, we heard in the first slide there that it's to be a trusted expert. Here's a longer description. It's to become someone who can move and inspire others. Sounds like leadership, right? With innovative ideas, turn those ideas into reality. Create a dedicated group of friends, fans, followers that can help you replicate and scale those ideas into a sustainable change. Now, I've seen quite a bit of challenges with that last part of the sentence, and that is to replicate and scale your ideas. And this is really the crux of leadership, and it's how to build and inspire others to see your vision so that they can latch onto it and move forward, move your ideas forward. So with that as a description, let's talk about each of you, and think about this for a moment. Self-reflect on something that you really gravitate towards, and this is something that you might consider to be a niche, something that you're probably already doing, something that maybe you have an expertise about, or something that you really want to learn about. And if you have an idea, throw it into the chat box there. Just let's see what kind of ideas that you guys come up with on this. One of the ideas that I have and I've always had is to be an entrepreneurial leader. So you'll see later in this presentation that entrepreneurial leadership is a .com that I've put together, and it's really where I'm kind of getting my start in this whole idea of thought leadership. So if you have an idea that you wanted to present to the rest of us here, go ahead and throw it into the chat box. That would be just fine. Keep in mind that we always want to try to be very focused in what it is that we're trying to in what we're trying to attract. So thought leadership is huge. It could be in any category, in any industry. I happen to come into mine in terms of entrepreneurial leadership, which in and of itself is very, very large. So I take, I'm kind of learning on how to bring this into a smaller focus. So ways. So Jessica writes, do you mean something that's personal expertise or professional? And honestly, it could be either one. It, maybe, I mean, shoot, there's a lot of people out there that are thought leaders in how to, do basket weaving, for example, and you'll find that out there. Of course, in the professional world, you can be a thought leader in strategic marketing. For example, or something in terms of how to design, training programs within an organization. Tina has written executive leader and or self-leader development interventions. That's great. Development interventions would be a really good one. And we could probably go deeper into that whole idea as well. If you have an idea that maybe you're doing, you could certainly post that into the chat section. So, approaches to becoming a thought leader. If you think about some of the things that you do already, look at her, she's already working to narrow it down. That's awesome. So think about things that you do. Think about journals or magazines that you read, that you very much enjoy reading, and consider why you read those. Consider the avenues, the ways that you communicate with other people. This will be another aspect of thought leadership that will be very important. When I say communicate, of course, there's the verbal communication, but there's other ways too. It's the channels to get your message out. And we're going to be looking at, different channels to do just that. So applying thought leadership ideas. There's 8 ideas on the screen that you see. One of them is stay current on social media. Now, I probably spend too much time on social media myself. It's kind of a go-to when I'm sitting there doing my homework or doing some other work, and I just kind of, okay, well, my brain just kind of took a tangent. I go to social media and see what's going on. And always your eyes are going to gravitate towards the things that you have interest in. So that's going to be how you identify what a TL idea is for yourself. Another option is to maintain a blog. And, maintaining a blog can be a lot of work. And it quite honestly is a lot of work, because then you have to start learning how to use, WordPress or some other platform. There's the idea of voicing your opinion. And I know for some people that could be a challenge. For others, maybe not so much. But it's really, this is really delivering down into the ideas of your values and talking about those things that you believe in very much. Now, I know that if you're on Twitter or other social media, you'll see a lot of things that are quotable. And I'm going to show you a few of those myself that I've been doing. Building a track record. Building a track record, that's another thing that we're going to talk about. I'll show a slide on that. You'll have an opportunity to show a slide on speaking at events. Then there's one on personal branding strategy. And then the last one I have here is be happy strategically. And that gets back to who you are and what kind of thought leader you want to become. So the first one. Stay current on social media. What that means is you can't do all social media. Choose the ones that are going to be of value to you. And so the question is social media a part of your life? Can you leverage the technology so that you can take advantage of all these other ideas of voicing your opinion, or the blogs that you write, those kinds of things? And then, are they used correctly? Are you doing this? Are you doing using social media in the right way? And an example of that is in my LinkedIn. I see very seldom a lot of the negativity, if you will, that I see on Facebook, and I don't see it on LinkedIn. I see it on Twitter, and I see it a lot on Facebook, but I don't see it on LinkedIn. So it's just a matter of using social media in a correct way. And then, of course, there's the idea of what is it that you're really trying to communicate on each of these channels. Next one is to maintain a blog. And this is really a powerful platform. It's a manner of broadcasting your thoughts. Some of you probably already post blogs on LinkedIn, which is a nice platform for that. Some of you may have your own website, and you post your ideas there and can try to get your message out that way. It's a good way to build a business, certainly spread the word, and it becomes a force for the good, and that's what you want to do. One of the best ways is really to come up with yourname.com, or your name and then some value like a leader or cook or politician or something like that. Kind of describes you a little bit more. There is a new one that I was actually on the bus riding home yesterday, and I came across this BB, and I went to it. I haven't logged into it or signed up for it, but it's a newer platform for blogging, and they say it's supposed to be very, very good. I'm not saying it's good or bad right now, but I just kind of came aware of it yesterday, and I thought I'd just kind of share it with you here. Now, one of the best web tools is actually WordPress. So let me ask this. If anybody wants to shout out their URL, go ahead and post it in the chat box there, and that would be great. I'd love to see that and go to that at a later date. My URL is right on the screen there. It's entrepreneurialleadership.com. So anybody wants to go there and see what I write, there you go. So another approach is to voice your opinion. So really, what are your thoughts? Your thoughts should influence others on a given topic, and that's the idea of this. It's it's what consultants do. It's what thought leaders do, or opinion leaders, I should say. And these people, individuals will come to these people to get their ideas or their advice and their opinion. So you want to have your opinion. You want to be very clear with it, and it really comes down to a values, and it comes down to you as a leader, and you as knowing who your values are, what your values are. So Tina has mentioned that she purchased lifecoaches.net back in 1999. But you don't know what you want to do with it. So I have it unsearchable on Google at the moment. Well, hopefully that something in what I'm saying today could inspire you. And I'm always willing to, present my challenges and in what I've done over the years on getting things going. Not to say by any means I'm a thought leader in and of itself, but I think there's some ideas that I have that could be worthwhile. I mean, I've certainly, this publishing business that I have been doing is in its 30th year, so there's something there we've done right. So the other idea about voicing an opinion is being opinionated, which is kind of different than voicing your opinion. You kind of see it there. It's being opinionated is like being rude or arrogant. Don't be that. You can be kind, you can be generous and gentle, and still hold a very strong opinion. Now, saying quotable stuff. I took some of the pieces that I have thrown out there on my different social media channels. I don't have any Facebook here, but I do have 2 Twitter accounts, a LinkedIn account, a Facebook account, and then my blog. I don't have anything here on my blog. I don't have anything from Facebook, but I do have it on my 2 Twitter accounts and my LinkedIn account. So they kind of say the same thing, and you can use a Hootsuite. That's what I use to kind of communicate these things to all your channels pretty much all at once. One of the all of these are my favorites, but entrepreneurial leadership, the one that's in the, here, I'll get a little pointer here for you. This one here that you see. Entrepreneurial leadership is a distinctive style of leadership that can be present in an organization of any size, type, or age. And this one actually got retweeted a fair number of times. I was kind of happy about that. Here's one up in the top left corner, thought of the day. Great minds discuss ideas, average ones discuss events, and small minds discuss people. So these don't have to be your quotes, but they can be quotes from other people that have communicated as well. So let's see, the next one is to create a track record. And really the key is respect. Now, thought leadership must grow from the soil of hard work, true experience, and moderate success. They're not saying that you have to be, the Elon Musk of everybody or Steve Jobs or anything to have success. It can just be moderate, and you work on it, and you work on it continuously. You're going to find that there will be success in your life on this. Okay, so where does respect come from in these areas? Again, you want to choose the right avenues and the right approaches for you. Much like your social media, you want to choose the right kind. So depending on what you're trying to accomplish, go volunteer for something. Get your face out there. Become noticed. Become in your organization. Become a department head. Ask your leader if your supervisor if you can get on the path to that direction if you're not there yet. You could build a business. You could get it out there. Just throw it out there and start pushing at it. You could be a committee chair. Another one in the organization what you could do. When you're on committees, you can voice your values, and these are very strong things. As long as you have a value system that is inherent within yourself and you voice it and you're clear with it, you'll be able to find that respect that you're looking for. You might find some other ways that you can garner respect, and you can post it into in the chat box. Next slide will be speaking at events. Now, I don't know about you, but I've always had this fear of speaking in front of people, but here's the other side of that. When I'm in front of people and I start speaking, I love it. I don't know what it is, but I just get a big charge out of it. And it's fun. It's a gas. It's one of a kind experience is what it is. So as the words on the screen say, need I say more? Who has a fear of speaking? You can you can say I do inside the chat box if you like. But what can you do to overcome fear? Well, it really, the best way to do that is really to get out there and start doing it. But you can build your portfolio. You can go to local meetups. You can go to community colleges, and you can go to Google Hangouts just to start building the experiences up for you. Other ideas are certainly welcome, and I'd love to have those in the chat box as well. So if you have ideas, go ahead and post them. Now, I'm going to get into the Build a Personal Brand section, and it's important for you to remember, to know really what your niche is. Identify a strength and develop it. Identify an interest and work it. Find the values associated with it and work them like it matters. Those are really key things, and you have to do that every single day. If you're at a 9-to-5 type job and you want to start your own business, for example, you just have to work at it, and you have to be consistent with it. It's not going to happen overnight, but it can transition. If you're in a corporation or an organization and you really want to build some ideas in the organization, I actually did a blog on corporate entrepreneurship, and it's on the CityU blog site. It was pretty good. There's 4 models to choose from, and boy, I wish I had posted that here. That would have been perfect. But if you do go to the CityU blog site, you'll see something from Greg Price about corporate entrepreneurship, and you're certainly welcome to look for that. So, what is your personal brand? Are you identify yourself, right? Are you selective? Are you an altruist? Are you an early adopter of technology? There's actually a lot of thought leaders out there on early adopters. Maybe you're a connector, a social media connector. As a matter of fact, there's a gal that I have been acquaintance with for a very long time, probably 15 years, and she is a social media connector. And what she's doing is she's actually starting a business in a city north of Seattle here, and she's it's a kind of a workspace, a co-working space, and she's just starting out. And she is just in the throes of starting this thing and believing it's going to work. And she's very much a connector in that world. Maybe you're a careerist and you know many things about HR or something about your particular career that actually others want to know about. So these are things that you could build your personal brand around. When we talk about your personal brand, you start identifying with some of the details of it. So think about these things. On the top left area where the little pencil is, it says, what type of content will you be posting? Will it be written? Will it be visual? Will it be both? Start with one and start building in others. You'll find that you can utilize content in so many different ways as you build. In the heart section, what are your values and how do you want to get them across? Remember the talk I had a little bit ago about values. It really is about values. And if you can understand what those values are in you and get them across through writing, through visual, or through other areas in a very determined way, you'll find success. The next one down is, who is your current audience and what kind of audience would you like to attract? Well, there you go. That's the type of channel that you're actually trying to reach. If you go with Twitter, you can utilize hashtags to get to that type of audience that the hashtag is trying to search for. What do you want to achieve with your brand? So what's the goal, right? I mean, first you're trying to figure out what it is your brand is or what your value is and what your niche is. But then once you figure that out, what is your goal with all of that? Where are you headed with it? That's certainly something that you need to address as well. And then what are you most knowledgeable and passionate about? So this will define your niche. What tone of voice would you like to use? There's another one. Boy, some people are very forceful with their tone. Some people take a more, kind of political approach to things. How will you best communicate your message to your target audience? So this, again, is kind of getting back to messaging and channel. So when we talk about channels, you're talking about your different things. Your social media, it could be any number of different kinds of social media. It could be a blog. Now, you could also get yourself involved with the influencers on social media. And these people can help you reach millions of people in a very short period of time. And it will cost some money, but you can reach millions of people in a very, very short period of time. If anybody has any questions about social media influencers as they're working through their options on your personal brand, I am I know some, and I can help you in that whole category. It's a very exciting aspect to marketing. And the last one on the screen here is, who are you and what is your position in your industry? Well, that's the one where if you want to really be involved in professional type of thought leadership or a personal brand thought leadership within an area of industry. Okay, so here's the last one, one of the last ones on the screen. It's be happy. You know, be happy with what you're doing and be strategic about it. This is finding what it is that your values are, and to release those values in the ether, in the world, and have people understand them. It's the most satisfying aspect. So find out your strengths, set your goals, build your skills, teach others, get that credibility, and have, the goal, of course, is to be sought out by other people who need those skills, and then, of course, be happy with that fulfillment. That's just being human. That is kind of the idea that I have with regard to this presentation. I'm going to take a moment for a commercial break. And as I mentioned earlier, I am the program director for the Master of Arts in Leadership. And just so you know, it's a 36 credit program. There is a nonprofit leadership aspect, and there is an EDD specialized study option with regard to that nonprofit leadership aspect. Now, if you know people who are looking for a master's, send them my way, really. And we've got some phenomenal courses in the Master of Arts in Leadership program. Thought Leadership and Creativity is one of them. I actually teach that course, and the students who come out of that course are just completely energized by the ideas that they themselves generate for themselves or for their organization. So if you know anybody, send them my way. There's my email, there's my face, there's my telephone number. And if any of you have any questions whatsoever, please email them to me or give me a call. Always would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for your time today. I hope you guys have a great rest of the afternoon.